In the land of Oz, amidst rugged, rolling hills and vast plains, there lived a man named Job, a figure of great renown, both for his righteousness and his immense prosperity. His wealth was unparalleled. His fields stretched as far as the eye could see, flourishing under the golden sun, and his herds of sheep, oxen, and camels roamed freely across the expansive desert. Job's livestock numbered in the thousands, and his fields yielded harvests so bountiful that his granaries overflowed, a testament to his success and divine favor. Yet, it was not merely his wealth that distinguished him. Job was a man of integrity, his heart brimming with compassion and generosity. He was known throughout the land for his kindness toward the less fortunate. The doors of his home were always open, welcoming the weary traveler, the beggar in need of food, and the broken in spirit seeking comfort. His servants were treated with respect, and his household was a place of harmony and justice. Despite his vast riches, Job remained humble and devout, never failing to offer sacrifices to God, always giving thanks for the blessings he received. His faith was unwavering, a beacon of light in a world that often languished in shadows, inspiring all who knew him to walk in the path of righteousness. Job's influence spread far beyond his homeland. Merchants from distant lands eagerly sought to trade with him, bringing exotic goods and rare treasures in exchange for the wealth that seemed to flow unceasingly from his hands. His prosperity seemed unshakable, a divine reward for his steadfast faith and noble character. But the tides of fate were about to turn, and Job would soon face trials beyond human comprehension, tests that would shake the very foundations of his existence. In the celestial realm, a divine council convened, and among its members stood Satan, the adversary, the accuser of mankind. God, in his omniscience, pointed to Job, declaring him a man of unparalleled righteousness, a servant devoted beyond measure. But Satan, ever the cynic, scoffed at this assertion. "Does Job fear God for nothing?" he challenged. "Have you not placed a hedge of protection around him, blessing everything he touches? Remove these blessings, take away his wealth and comfort, and surely he will curse you to your face." God, confident in Job's faith, allowed Satan to test him, but with one condition: he could not harm Job physically. And so, the adversary set his plan into motion, determined to prove that Job's devotion was nothing more than a byproduct of his prosperity. Calamity struck with relentless force. Raiders descended upon Job's lands, stealing his livestock and slaughtering his servants. Fire fell from the heavens, consuming his sheep and shepherds alike. A great wind arose and struck the house where his beloved children were feasting, causing it to collapse, burying them beneath the rubble. In the span of mere moments, Job's world crumbled around him, his wealth vanished, and his children, the light of his life, were gone. News of these tragedies reached Job in swift succession, each blow more devastating than the last. His heart ached with an unimaginable grief. Yet he did not curse God. Instead, he tore his robes, shaved his head in mourning, and fell to the ground in worship. "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return," he declared. "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." But Job's suffering did not end there. Satan, still unconvinced of Job's steadfastness, sought permission to afflict his body, and God permitted it, with the condition that his life be spared. Painful boils erupted across Job's skin, covering him from head to toe. He writhed in agony, scraping his sores with a shard of pottery as he sat in the ashes of what was once his prosperous life. Even Job's wife, stricken with grief and despair, urged him to curse God and abandon his faith. Yet Job rebuked her, saying, "Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" Word of Job's affliction spread, and soon 3 of his closest friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, came to visit him. When they saw him, they were overcome with sorrow, barely recognizing the man who had once stood tall in wealth and joy. For 7 days and nights they sat in silence, mourning with him, sharing in his grief. Finally, Job broke his silence, his voice laden with sorrow and despair. He cursed the day of his birth, questioning why he had been brought into the world only to endure such suffering. His cries echoed through the desolate land, his words painting a picture of his deep anguish. His friends, in their attempt to provide answers, instead offered accusations. Eliphaz suggested that Job's misfortunes were a result of hidden sins. Bildad argued that God punishes the wicked and rewards the righteous, implying that Job's suffering must be deserved. Zophar, the harshest of the 3, outright condemned Job, accusing him of arrogance and wrongdoing. But Job refused to accept their assertions, maintaining his innocence, insisting that he had committed no transgression worthy of such affliction. As the debates continued, another voice entered the discourse. A young man named Elihu, filled with passion, rebuked both Job and his friends. He chastised the 3 for failing to provide wisdom and warned Job against questioning God's justice. "Listen to me," Elihu implored, "and open your hearts to the mysteries of God's ways. His wisdom is beyond our understanding." Then, out of the storm, God himself spoke. A whirlwind descended, and from its midst, the voice of the Almighty thundered, questioning Job with profound inquiries about the nature of creation. "Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth?" God demanded. "Can you command the morning or bring forth the constellations in their season?" Humbled and overwhelmed, Job fell to his knees. "I have spoken of things too wonderful for me to know," he confessed. "I repent in dust and ashes." In his mercy, God restored Job, blessing him with twice as much as he had before. His wealth multiplied, his household flourished, and he was granted long life, surrounded by children and grandchildren. Job's trials became a testament to faith, patience, and divine justice, an enduring story of perseverance through suffering and ultimate restoration. If you are joining us for the first time, do like and subscribe as we unravel the secret stories from the Bible. See you on the next one.